As much as I don't want to mention the Wagner leader in my videos, but Prigozhin has become a media part of this war in the Bakhmut direction. The other day he gave a commentary to a Russian publication when asked about the Afu offensive, and there are some interesting points about the state of the Russian army here. And that was before the strike on the Chonhar bridge, which further worsened the enemy's logistics. I suggest you listen to this. I can't comment to you in any way on how the Afu offensive is going. I can tell you what is happening at our line of contact today. We have Piatehatki under the enemy, the northern part of Robotyne under the enemy, Ukrashne under the enemy, and this indicates that huge chunks have been given to the enemy. Further over Tokmak, in the village of Sadove, there is the enemy, and God forbid it if it is some single group, 50 to 100 people. But there is no control, no weapons, no ammunition. Soldiers write letters all day long saying that they need shells, they need anti-tank weapons, they need grenades and armor-piercing ammunition. And so once again we have a world divided into two realities. In one place, secretly from everyone, so that no one knows, so that no war correspondent gets there, all information is blocked, and the enemy is heading towards Molokny Liman. If he reaches Molokny Liman, then most of the territories that were captured during the so-called special military operation will be returned to the enemy. The enemy begins to force the Dnipro. In Gola-Pristan the first sabotage and reconnaissance groups already appear, and from today on regular troops. And all this is completely hidden from everyone. Russia will wake up one day and find out that Crimea has already been handed over to the Ukrainians. There is a direct betrayal of Russia's interests. This is all happening against a backdrop of casualties. Troops have to be replenished. A soldier cannot fight alone, he cannot fight when the unit is 50 to 60% short of personnel. He cannot stand alone on a line where 2 or 3 should stand. All of these figures are carefully concealed. All that the leadership of the special operation is doing today is falsifying facts in order to send the pretty reports to Moscow. And God be with him that they are accustomed to deceiving Putin, they are deceiving the Russian people. And if this continues, we will be left without the main thing, without Russia. Yesterday, there was a board meeting of the Defense Ministry, where there were 2 main issues. This is the Army 2023 exhibition, the main organizers of which are the wife and daughter of Defense Minister Shoigu, and the Naval Parade. In order to hold a naval parade, you must first get Moscow from the bottom of the Black Sea, which you shamefully sunk scum, together with Russian sailors. That is how the Ukrainian armed forces offensive to date is taking place. And the next question is, at what cost are we conducting this special operation? At the cost of the total destruction of the army. For the sake of what? For the sake of someone to get a marshal's star, alludes to Shoigu, for the sake of his family to be untouchable, for the sake of him painting himself and all sorts of crooks on the frescoes in the temple of the Ministry of Defense. The counterattack by the Afu brings us serious problems and losses that are hushed up, that the Russian people do not know about. When trouble comes, I repeat, we may be left without an army and without Russia. So, Prigozhin told about phenomenal and non-existent so far in reality successes of the offensive of the Afu. And that the main reason for these successes is the incompetence of the command of the armed forces of Russia. And that Russia will collapse further. I fully agree with this point, as well as with the fact that their manning level in some areas is at 40%, as I have repeatedly said in my videos. In general, it is a statement for the domestic consumer to strengthen its political position. There are 2 options. When his words materialize or the Afu will be even more successful than he voices, he will say I told you so. If the Russian General Staff manages to temporarily hold back the armed forces of Ukraine in this area, it will be presented in such a way that his statements and actions became the cause of positive developments. What is important in this speech is what he says about the state of the Russian army. The same is said by the occupiers caught in the exchange fund. Yes, it is still a huge war machine if you send everyone to Ukraine. But then they would have to bear all their borders, and they can't go for that.